here we are. It's time for that grind set. We need to get some levels here, for sure. Did I save at the PC? Maybe I did. Alright, I've had a little time to think about this. We're gonna do an attempt at swap leveling inside. We're gonna switch grind for a bit. I didn't check with anybody to see what it's actually called. This totally original term that I came up with, but Geodude would have been a strong, absolutely strong pick if I'd managed to land him. Now we don't need to swap to our bird, because grass type is gonna be king here on this particular Pokemon. So we're gonna start Vine Whipping. Crucially, it's super effective. Great. Now what did that do for your boy Dragony Drag? Doesn't really show me how far into the level he is. Oh, you know what? My little help app, it's slightly short of halfway, so all right. It's gonna be a long time before we get Gyarados, but you gotta start somewhere. We absolutely need to level Mankey up, because that's probably gonna be our lead Pokemon for taking out normal types. And there's a lot of normal type fights for the rest of the game. We gotta treat man right. We treated woman wrong. We must treat man right to make up for it. I apologize to woman. I made a mistake. Alright, that's like most of the way filled. Okay, so this is poison type. Flying, we're gonna go with bird, because I don't remember offhand the type charting, but I'm thinking, yeah, that did not. That's neutral. A lot of these, this looks like a good mashup because it's not hurting. Okay. Dragon level 6. The long road, buddy. One day you'll be the king. So I think we probably want to be 15 across the board. We have a level cap of 21 before we get to Misty. But I doubt we can get the whole way to 15 here, just here in this cave, on this particular end, if we're only facing level 7. We probably want the level 12s at the far end of the cave. I mean, the other way to do this Magikarp leveling would be to put it in the daycare center. Is there a daycare center in this game? I actually don't remember if it was in Gen 1. And even if it wasn't in Gen 1, it might be here in Gen 3. Was daycare... I feel like daycare center was definitely in Gold, because I specifically remember you could, like, raise eggs in it. It had something to do with the eggs. And maybe there was something about berries, not with the daycare center, but maybe there was something about berries as well. I don't remember Gold quite as well as I remember Red. Is there a daycare? I suppose I could just Google it, but maybe I'll just surprise myself. Or the comment section will light up, telling me that I'm either too much or not enough of a nerd for not knowing this. Alright. Hot swapping, switch grinding. It's Buddy. It's his time. Savannah's trying to get me to watch this game, Grumps. Nuzlocke. Oh, whoops. I double tapped that. I only wanted to press it once. Effective nonetheless. Effective nonetheless. We're gonna get him. We're gonna absolutely crush him. I don't know. It's very adult humor. I think that they're great voice actors, and they have a comedic style that matches them well. But also, during the description of the rules, they got very strange about it. Like, they were like, this is an advanced rule, while describing Pokemon Nuzlocke if your Pokemon faints, it's out. And I'm like, that's not an advanced rule. That's literally, like, the first, most basic rule. Nothing advanced about it. Then they did this weird thing with the way they were naming. Yeah, level 7. Nice, Dragon. Nice, you're on your way up. Zubat is a bloodsucker. I was eating lunch in a state park today, which I do. I try to go for a walk and then eat lunch at a state park several times a week so that I get that vitamin D, I get that sunlight, I get that fresh air. What is this? Is it a Zubat? I forgot where we're facing. I'm gonna talk myself into another Pokemon loss. Here we go, Zubat. Great. And a gigantic mosquito landed on me, and I was like, listen, I'm not normally about, you know, killing stuff, but in general, mosquitoes carry horrible diseases. There's plenty of really bad diseases that are going around. I slapped that guy real hard and then brushed him off my arm out the window. I don't need that smoke. Hey, Bird is now our highest level. See the leader? It's the leader of the pack. No, Buddy's still a little bit in the head. Good. Don't worry, Buddy. You're my favorite. The only reason we're level... Hey, this bird... I'm not sure this bird's sticking around long term. Maybe I need to look at, like, a tier chart or something. But I don't think Pidgeotto or Pidgeot are super strong. For some reason, I always felt like Spearow was the stronger bird type. And then, of course, the legendary birds. Zapdos, Moltres, and... Articuno? Is that the legendary bird? Then there's Ho-Oh and the not Ho-Oh in the next game. I don't know the other one. But Ho-Oh's the one from Gold, right? So that's the one I know. Critical Gust. Perfect. Nice job, bird. So for lunch, I went to Burger King, and they have this, I'm about to date myself. It either isn't out yet or is coming out today or tomorrow, the Grogu and Mandalorian movie, and they had this, you know, get the Grogu and Mandalorian bundle. I have the Burger King Lord of the Rings cup from all the way back in like 2001 when they ran that promo, and it was great. I still have that. I'll probably show it on the next The Intro Hour, just to brag. So I thought, you know what, it's fine. It's a little expensive, but I'll get the collector's cup. So I ordered that bundle. I get to the drive-thru window. They tell me they're already sold out. It's the first day. They're already sold out of the Mando cups, and so they don't have one to get me. So I'm pretty disappointed. And then they tell me they aren't going to give me a drink because the drink attached to that deal is the man. So I've paid for the drink and the cup, and I don't get either. I'm probably never going back to that Burger King, and maybe never another Burger King again. That's so scummy. That's bad. That's bad behavior. And I don't know. I didn't feel like arguing with them all day. You know, a lot of these fast food places in my local area have not respected my time and have done stuff like this. And I just write them off the list forever. Like, I don't have to go back. There are indie food trucks and sit-down restaurants that offer comparable or better service for better prices. I'm just writing off places that can't hack it in the open marketplace. They are wasting my time, and I don't want to argue with a manager for, you know, like 10 minutes. These guys have to get food out for the next person behind me, and then the next person, and then the orders inside. They've just lost something more important than a Mando Cup, which is my eternal respect and going back there to get a nice Whopper, everyone. Also, I should say, the Mando and Grogu burger isn't actually that good. I would have just preferred a regular single Whopper. It had some sort of like fried pickle chips, which maybe I would have enjoyed if they just weren't on the burger. The burger sauce also was like strange. I don't know. Just not a good experience. Is Bird about to pass your plant boy in experience here? Let's take a look. Oh no, Buddy the Bulbasaur is pretty close to leveling out. Okay. That's fine. I mean, that's what we want, right? Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm getting a bunch of text messages from my mom. She's discovered AI can help her plan her vacation, and she's using it to plan our vacation together and all her future vacations, and suddenly, every 5 minutes, it's a new thing, you know? Really takes you down a dark hole, that AI. Okay. Need to get focused up here. I don't know what to talk to you guys about. I'm not really like a good conversationalist. Audience, I'm sorry. If for some reason you're still here on the 3rd episode, which seems highly unlikely, but if you're still here, like, you should already know I'm just gonna babble incoherently and make minor mistakes that will end up compiling and compounding on me, but yeah, I don't know. Well, what do you want to talk about in this recorded situation? Oh my goodness! Now she wants me to make her dinner as well. I've kind of bunkered down for the night. You know what I mean? Like, I have dinner right here that I'm gonna reheat later. I guess my plans are gonna have to change. Might be late to Shadowrun tonight. I guess I really just dated myself that this is a Friday, and it's the Friday before my trip, which means that it's May 22nd right now. Like, I guess if you knew the situation well enough, you would have been able to determine that. Okay. We gotta focus up. Finally, we can swap in Buddy. It's been a little while since he's made an appearance on screen. That's your favorite Pokemon, right? When you see Buddy, you point at the screen and you go, that's my boy, that's my dog. I'd say that's my partner, but unfortunately partner fainted during attempt 1. Fine Whip! Nailed it. Crushing. Absolutely brutal. Alright, next Geodude to level up. That'll be 16, right? Isn't that Ivysaur? Ivysaur. Okay. Let's see here. I think we're gonna have to end this grind session early. I'm just getting a chain of messages. I apologize. So strange to be apologizing to you, but you know, you came here for an episode and I'm only gonna get what, 16 and a half minutes. Let's park ourselves. You know what? We'll probably call this part 1 of 2. And then we'll heal up, and then we'll do the thing. And then we'll staple this onto the start of grind session part 2 using the power of video editing software. So I'll see you when I get back. I apologize. Very distracted by family affairs. All right, audience. We're back on that grind set, you know. First off, respect your parents. They're, you know, they're a big deal. Just know, if you haven't hit your 20s yet, one day you will. If you haven't, you will. When you do, know that while your parents have fed and clothed you for your entire life, at some point, you will be called upon to make pizza delivery orders for them. Go pick up that pizza and deliver it to them. It's just a natural part of life. Moving from one phase of life to the next. We still got Dragon on that grind set, huh? What were we aiming for? Level 12? Hard to remember. Oh. Huge mistake. Huge mistake. Alright, Clefairy. Level 14. That's big. There's big numbers here. We're not going to get too freaky. Okay, Clefairy missed. Cool. Okay, encore hit. Not the best. Yeah. Okay. We gotta get a leech seed out. Wait, we're locked in? Okay, horrible. Wow, this is going on for quite a while. We're in a terrible spot. I don't really have a lot of options for what to switch to here. No one is kind of strong enough to face this Clefairy. Okay, we got that at least. We won't be able to use Thunder Wave because they're already... Wow, I outsped? Nice. Okay, this is still good. Okay, great. We're now leaving. Buddy grew to 16. That's Ivysaur time. Scary, absolutely frightening. She had me completely locked up. I know there's something about Bulbasaur being a Gyaru based on Pocopia or whatever. What is Ivysaur then? Right, Ivysaur. You're strong. We need to get you Drain, and then your training will be complete. That's the power of my buddy. I have some notes. I didn't check in about the daycare thing, but it turns out you want to level Pikachu into Raichu at level 26. Because that's when you get Thunderbolt. I don't know that Pikachu is going to need agility. I feel like we're going to be out of range for that. When I say out of range, I mean there's not really a lot of point to getting agility on a Pokemon that's already pretty fast. You know what I mean? Not a lot is going to outspeed a Pikachu or a Raichu. Bam, bam, bam. When does Pidgey become Pidgeotto? 16 as well? Because it would be nice to get another evolution in here. Just because we're kind of desperate for power right now. That fight against the Clefairy? I don't know, maybe I should have tried to put it to sleep rather than poison. But, Bulbasaur getting locked in was really bad. And then I kind of fumbled from there as well. Like, I don't know. Maybe this game is a lot harder than I thought. I felt kind of optionless. And that's the thing. I haven't leveled Mankey up, so I didn't really have a way to counter a normal type. I don't know that a level 8 Mankey is going to outspeed a level 14 Clefairy, you know what I mean? That was a problem of accidentally walking in range, though. We're taking risks. We're taking risks that the grind is the only way we're going to offset. We need to not be taking these risks. They're foolish. It's gonna cost us the whole run. Alright, we're bringing Ivysaur out. Buddy, it's your first time on the battlefield as Ivysaur. Protect the team, buddy. Yeah. In case you're wondering about the pizzas, my mom wanted a sausage and onion pizza, which I thought was pretty unusual. Normally when she wants pizza, she wants it to have spinach or kale on it or something. She likes a greener kind of vegetable-y pizza, and then feta cheese on top. Sort of balance and counteract the vegetables. So sausage and onion was pretty unusual. I got for myself a pepperoni and extra cheese, and they didn't put enough pepperoni on it, you know. There's a certain number of pepperonis that are supposed to go on, and I didn't get that, so it's just more of me complaining about established food cookeries that are not as good as food trucks who are out here scrambling, indie restaurants as well. They're out here trying to provide a solid experience for their community. And that's what I'm here for. And then I got some... So I only ate one slice pizza because I also got buffalo chicken wings, like hot sauce chicken wings. I'm gonna be real with you. They were not good. The hot sauce had almost no spice to it. It was less spicy than just drinking straight Tabasco. And Tabasco is really kind of a floor rather than a ceiling. So I don't know. Just hoping for better out of people, out of the community. This is not gonna push Bird over to 16 probably, but we're getting close. Not that close, but close. Wow, that sound really takes me back to the 1990s. It's a long time ago. Oh boy, I just got wandering in my own thoughts. I apologize. Oh, we're getting close. Probably 2 more fights for Bird here. Not really certain how long I want to level this magic cart, because obviously it's not going to be frontlining anything. We might be able to use it as sort of a pivot to eat an attack or 2. I mean, I don't want it to die. It's going to become one of our premier members, right? So, but if it could take a hit without dying, that would be nice. A level 10 Zubat. Okay, so at the top end of serious opponents. Is this gonna be enough? Push us over the top. It's 16. Yeah. Not enough to evolve. All right, let's take a look at when Pidgey evolves. Level 18 and 36. Okay. Huh. Okay. Okay. All right, where is Dragon at? Level 9. I think 10 should be okay to start with. And then we'll start pushing Mankey to 12, I should think. to help with upcoming trainer battles. Okay. I have a show in a little bit. We're recording an episode of Shadowrun Ides of March. We're in a bit of a pickle. I don't want to spoil anything, but we're kind of backed into the corner during a combat encounter, and no one else in the team is like sturdy enough to tank. So I think even though my character has taken quite a lot of damage recently, he is gonna have to, I'm worried he's gonna have to sacrifice himself for the rest of the team. He's definitely gonna throw himself in front of the enemy. I mean, that's just what he does. That's also how he's built. But I'm very concerned that he's like, the thing we're eating is large enough to just eat my character, like consume him through their mouth into their body. And that could be a serious concern in melee. Okay. We're gonna level Mankey, the Mankey to 10. Then we'll probably level Man-Bat to 12. And then we'll bring all the other 10s to 12. And we'll take a look at how we're going then. And then at the far end of the cave, it looks like things start hitting level 12 kind of regularly. What about Eastside Route 4 has lots of level 12s. Might be a better place to kind of... We already have a Route 4 catch? Yes, it's the Magikarp that we purchased. So no shot on the Ekans. That's alright. Okay. Well, I'm a little concerned about Bird being at half health, and their move list is we're lowering the amount of PP we have, but we should be all right for a little while longer. Yeah, I'm actually a little tired. Thought I'd be able to get in here and do that grind set thing. But this may turn into a 3-parter where I kind of call it shortly and take a nap before that Shadowrun thing. And then we come back and do more grind life. This American grind set on NPR. Do the weekend whip, Ivysaur. It's Super Ninjago on the Super Ninjago console. Ah, is this the first time we've seen a Paris? Seems like the odds are either very low or I'm just very unfortunate. But it is a poison type. Let's consult our typing chart here. Poison is going to be effective against grass and fairy. And poison ground psychic. And is bad against other poisons fighting no, is that wrong? It's half damage grass fighting poison. So I don't really have a way to attack it well. I definitely don't want to have Mankey out, so no man. Grass is also not really an option here. I think we are just going to throw Bird out here and hope that whatever crazy moves Paris might throw isn't enough to make a dent. Oh, is Paris bug type? Why was that so effective? Paris is a bug grass type. Okay. Man, level 8. Nice. He's making his way. After all, he's just a man. Oh, wow. His healthcare is amazing. So nice that Pokeballs allow any size transportation. Alright, we'll be back for a third part. For you, it will be seamless, but for me, it would be Tuesday. Hey, welcome back. It's Tuesday. We're on that grind set, you know? So, I was supposed to have Shadowrun, but that fell through. So here we are. Grinding in the Mountain of Moon. I did a little research. You know, I forgot to check about daycare. I thought Mankey was like super strong because of course absolute normal Pokemon wipes, but it sounds like there aren't really a lot of normal Pokemon left in the way. Now, that is to be said that most of the people that are talking about that they're skipping all of the fights, you know what I mean? They're not fighting the optional trainers, they're just using rare candies and going to the gyms. But yeah, like, maybe the Mankey will not be as useful as I had originally anticipated. I guess we'll have to see. It certainly isn't gonna hurt to have them leveled properly. We do need a solid psychic type though. I don't think that I'm gonna be able to get an Abra very easily, right? Like, Abra is too high of a level normally to just risk tossing a ball, and they flee all the time, right? Like, I remember having to farm a lot for Abras, and I don't really have that option. Now, maybe if I throw out Ivysaur first, and that Ivysaur completely lucks out on Sleep Powder or something before the flee, and then we beat the crap out of Abra. That's about the only way it would work, I think. And that's assuming we even get the option to get Abra, which I think is near Cerulean City, right? feel like that's correct. I'm gonna have to figure out, if I get one, how to like trade it somehow, I guess, to level it. We'll work on it. There's no reason to count our chickens before, no reason to count our Pidgeotos before they hatch. So look, I get the impulse that people have now to like rare candy and do all that kinds of stuff. It makes sense now that I'm here in this grind. I'm not sure I'm ready to skip all that. I think I'd want to finish this run successfully, which at this point, you know, could be anybody's game. It's completely up in the air as to whether I can hack that. But I'd also want to do a hardcore Nuzlocke, just to prove that I could do it the non-cheaty, non-hacky way. And if I could get a FireRed run, and not necessarily FireRed, maybe we do Leaf Green hardcore. But it doesn't even have to be of this gen. Any gen hardcore. Then I'll consider doing, you know, straight up cheating, rare candies, infinite money, that sort of thing. Skipping every fight that I can and just doing the sort of boss fights, complete challenge run sort of situation. Alright, this Pidgey is starting to creep up to match the Ivysaur. Bird is starting to match Buddy in terms of XP. And that just doesn't ever happen to me. You know, my starter is usually the highest level one. Ba-ba-dum. Ba-ba-dum. Alright. You know, for the next episode, I completely forgot about it. But for the next episode, maybe I should turn my little VTuber model in the right-hand corner. I forgot for, let's call it episode 2, and let's call all this episode 3. I don't know, is that something you guys like to see? Should I turn it back on? I mean, by the time you see this, I'll probably have started episode 4, but I am curious as to whether you guys, does it make a difference to just like see my expressions and follow my movements? Is it worthwhile and interesting? I don't know. I think probably this is going to be one of the most skippable episodes, right? Because it's all grind. No, but with the exception of the one fight right here in the cave, it's all grind, no trainer. No main plot, nothing on this list of the Nuzlocke list moving forward. Bum 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 bum. Just gonna be the fight where Bird passes Buddy. I suppose there isn't anything actually stopping me from using my Ivysaur. And I do have an incentive to continue leveling the Bird, because we do want the Bird to become a Pidgeotto. I suppose I should also figure out what my next big challenges are, besides just surviving all these trainer battles, which are not always as easy as one might hope. Take a look. Nuzlocke FireRed list. So we've got Misty, who's going to be using Staryu and Starmie. Team recommendations are Rattata, which is a little strange. Pikachu and Bulbasaur. So I'm thinking Pikachu and Bulbasaur, definitely. Maybe that's what we need to kind of be leveling right now? Question mark? And then after that's Route 24 and our rival battle. Let's think about that as well. All right, looking at his team, he leads with, oh, there it is. I clicked it open. Pidgeotto, Abra, which only has teleport, so it's gonna be easy mode. Rattata. The Rattata has quick attack, but not Hyper Fang or anything like that. So probably going to be a pain, but not like a huge pain. And Charmander, which will be a pain. Absolutely not so great. So Mankey for the Rattata. Literally anyone can take Abra. Pidgeotto almost certainly goes down to a good level. So his max level is 18. We'll have passed that, right? Because Starmie is 21. I'm not necessarily gonna out-level. I know that that's part of the hardcore rules. I didn't sign up for any of that. But it makes sense to just not like completely out-level it. So I will be stronger than Blue for my Pikachu. So may want to Pika-Pee on this Pidgeotto. So the Charmander is the problem. We are gonna need Gyarados, I think, to do a Charmander. And we're just barely gonna squeak by, I think, on that one. Okay. I guess what I'm saying is I need to start leveling Pikachu. Maybe let's figure that out. Pikachu gonna be okay in here? Now that we know that he's so pivotal, we definitely don't want to be losing him. Is there... Let's take a look at electric weaknesses. Is to electric and flying and steel. Wait, really? Versus steel? That's so weird. I would have thought electric would do effective against steel, but I suppose not. Somewhere out there, someone is going to be talking about arc wielding and electrolysis and Pikachu. Sorry, Ash, use Thunder Shock. It's super effective. Is Zubat part flying? Zubat. Yeah, it's dual poison flying. Okay. Cool. Then it is going to be an easy farm around here for a hot second. Given the number of Zubats we've been facing. And if we have to swap out, we'll swap out into Ivysaur. We probably want a level 20/21 Ivysaur. Oh, astonished. Finally happened. Okay. And then we need to also have a Gyarados on backup. Alright, so this is where one of those Ivysaur swaps comes into handy. Buddy, we need you. Backup Ash. Buddy, counterattack with the Vine Whip. Take him out. Buddy, make him an offer he can't refuse. Ooh, quick attack. Probably over tackle, right? You don't have tackle. You have Growl and Tail Whip. I think probably Tail Whip? Somewhere out there, someone's screaming at me right now. But yeah, I think Quick Attack over Tail Whip. This Pikachu is a strong attack type, right? We want to lower enemy attacks rather than trying to lower enemy defense, because we're already pretty good at. Okay, we're back to the swap on Buddy. Wah, 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 wah. I feel so unprepared. I know. I probably should be watching videos and reading guides on how to do this Nuzlocke, but like, it's not really how I play video games anymore, you know? I'm playing them like how I played them when I was a kid. Might explain why I'm not doing very well. But, you know, I like kind of figuring things out as I go. And I know in this Dark Souls-esque style run, that might not be the best choice. But, you know, once I start hitting walls and I'm completely blocked and have to restart again, then maybe I'll sit down with some guides. But, like, I'm enjoying the tension of, like, figuring it out for myself, you know, and making mistakes. Yeah, I'd love to just show you guys me playing perfectly and being really cool, but let's be realistic, that was never going to happen. Even if I had a guide. Because I'm not really cool, just to be clear. That's why it wouldn't happen. Zubat got paralyzed. That's a real poop play on your plan, Zubat. Make better decisions. Started a new Discord channel called Pokemon. I'm sure people are going to notice it eventually in the start. So this thing that happens on my server, probably every server, but when a new chat channel gets opened, people will just start like posting nonsense in it, really. Like, they're so unfocused, the general audience is so unfocused about like just keeping each chat channel clean and sanitary to the thing that it's related to. Or be like, oh, I wonder what this could be about. You know, like, the channel is named, and almost all my channels also have subheadings to tell you, like, okay, here's the channel name, and also here's the exact thing that channel is about. You know, people either don't know it exists or don't care. Oh, he survived. You're strong, Zubat. Stand tall. That's a level 7 Zubat stood up to that. The Zubat of today versus the strongest Zubat in history. Huh. I guess I should be glad that this thing isn't, these Zubats aren't like actually poisoning me. Like back when I was in the Viridian Forest. I feel like I spent way too much money eating antidotes there. Like, yes, of course I should have got the Pikachu there, but like, I shouldn't have been farming levels there. That was the mistake. Nice, level 12 Ash. Ash Ketchum. You know, maybe for future runs, start naming my rival after people who help me. In Let's Go Eevee, I named my rival Pondo the Mad. And Pondo has been helping me a bit on this run, so I would also call future rival Pondo the Mad. And then if we have female rivals, I think the other games, they do this thing where your rival will be opposite gender to you. In some of them, and then in others, like, whatever the one with Nimona is, your rival is just always Nimona. Maybe we'll call them Cotton or Savannah. Well, I guess I'm literally saying it's Nimona. Like, you can't rename it because it's always just Nimona. But anyway, female rivals could be named Cotton or Savannah. Other people who are part of the pre-release team who helped me on my Pokemon journey. Savannah's trying to get me to watch this Game Grumps Ego Raptor Nuzlocke run. Pondo's trying to get me to just watch general Nuzlocke runs. I don't know, I feel like Jaden Animations was really clean. My only beef here is such a minor quibble. She did a run where she obviously lost because she got low chance critical twice. And then her chat told her that it would be okay to just finish the, like, reload and finish the run. And she did. And, like, during her final monologue, she was like, "We'll never know what fate had in store for us." And I'm like, that's such a strange thing to say because you lost. Like, you absolutely do know what fate had in store for you. And the weird part about it is that before the final monologue, she had accepted that it did feel like cheating, that it wasn't supposed to happen. It just feels like such a strange, like, postscript annotation to add that line. Because other than that line, she had fully accepted that, yes, this was a bad run and she had in fact lost. And people did want to see those Pokemon cross the finish line, see her cross the finish line. But, like, you did lose. Right? Like, it sucks. Absolutely sucks. I'm sure I'll feel the crushing weight of that at some point in a Pokemon journey, because I absolutely will make decisions that are not optimal. I'll get locked in. I'll accidentally walk into trainers I'm not prepared for. All things I've already done. It's gonna happen when the chips need to come down, and I'm not gonna be ready. But I don't know. I know what fate has in store for me. Insofar as when it happens, the probability the event will be 1. Oh, this is high level math, sorry. It's not even that high level for statistical analysis, but just to be clear, the chance of an event that's already happened isn't 100%, it's literally just 1. Because percent chance is what portion of 1. So I guess technically it is a 100% chance, but the notation is just to say 1. An event that's already happened has a probability of 1. Not 1%, 1. I'm gonna get some Eulerian math majors in here, and they're gonna be very upset with everything I just said. But yeah, like, fate will show us what it has in store for me in this battle right here. Will Ash win or lose? I feel like I'm really hyper-focusing on this now. I was also watching the Jaden Animations. Well, I guess technically it's not Jaden Animations. It's Ryu Crocodile. Crocodile only run, where she used the 3 crocodile Pokemon for a game. I'm not fully through it, but it was actually pretty interesting. People were pointing out in the comment section how the 3 crocodile Pokemon all cover each other's weaknesses. Very interesting. Ryu Crocodile is Jaden's VTuber form. Use a crocodile. Person. Okay, we're level 13 now. That is higher than almost all the challenges we're going to face. We already faced Iris. She's the one that's directly to the right with the level 14 Clefairy. The highest level in this cave is a level 12. When we exit out onto Route 4, are there any trainers we have to worry about? Does it look like it based on this walkthrough? Cerulean City, available Pokemon. You trade a Poliwhirl for a Jinx. Well, we don't have a Poliwhirl. Jinx is actually kind of strong though, right? Jinx is like Psychic Ice? Ice Psychic, yes. And then gym badges. Don't need that. Medicine Man. We need to bring him Berry Powder. Berry Crush minigame? Was this in Pokemon Red? The bike shop costs $1 million. Okay. Cerulean Gym, the Tomboyish Mermaid. It looks like there's going to be a couple trainers in there. Okay, so there really isn't much else on the way except for those trainers. Yeah, let's focus up before wandering through that. Okay, so with that in mind, getting through here and getting to Route 4 East means that we can start looking at Cerulean City and start looking at level 10 to 12 Pokemon overall. So as long as my team, I think, is fully built out to move forward. How good is Zubat? Now I'm feeling like the Mankey isn't as good. I know down the line I have to start raising the Magikarp, but I can wait until we hit an area with higher level Pokemon because he's not useful until he hits 20, right? So until I hit that 20 limit, with my other Pokemon, leveling him up is not going to be the best plan. All right, so let's look at Pokemon FireRed. Nuzlocke. Is Zubat good? He's excellent for Erica and the Fighting Dojo. You cannot get Crobat, or okay, ignore AI results. I should have put no AI. All right, here we go. Project Nuzlocke Dex. All right, cool. Zubat, the Batmon. It's considerably stronger than previous generations. That's talking about Crobat. It's not talking about Zubat. That's talking about Ruby and Sapphire, not Fire Red. So it sounds like it's not actually that good. Why would I think it's good? I think maybe it's just all the people trying to side games me about Crobat. If you don't have another flying type, he is, but he won't evolve into Crobat. There are better flying types. Bite, Confuse Ray, Toxic, Protect. Interesting. If you can get them to level 16, it learns Bite. but they don't learn fly. All right. At a minimum, let's get Ash to 14. And then Man-Bat to 14 as well. The grind set isn't over. And we're really just grinding so that we can survive the tunnel to get to a better grinding area. Just to be very clear about here. Yeah, I think if Pikachu could one-shot these guys, that would actually be the best. The other thing to consider is that while we're grinding here, we're getting EV points. I don't know what EVs these particular Pokemon give, but you can hardly say it's a bad thing to have a full EV red roster. Bum 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 bum. Oh, excuse me. I had to yawn. So impolite. Not really that late here. I don't know why I feel tired. I've been getting up pretty early. Sort of prepping for my upcoming cruise vacation. My mom and I are going on this cruise together, and she's like very 5 a.m.-ish. So I feel like my whole schedule is going to revolve around her. She will not move at my speed. You know what I mean? She's already got this whole thing planned, and now she's ditching the plans to ask Claude AI plans, and she actually thinks those plans work better. Taking ferries to go to different islands, and now on the schedule is a carriage ride, and actually I think that's probably going to be pretty cool. It is, however, going to be pretty hot on that day, expectedly. Extremely hot, possibly. I suppose as long as the rain isn't bad. Oh yeah, sorry, it's a horse carriage, just to be clear. I'm now recognizing that carriage could also mean a form of train or bus. But yes, it will be a horse-drawn carriage. I'm interested. I think it could be pretty cool. As kind of a former Uma Musume fan, big fan of horses. I'm a big guy though, so I don't know if they're going to be able to drag me with great ease. But assumably, me being on wheels, the wheels certainly make it easier than if they were carrying me directly. That's about mechanical motion and friction and translation of energy. Translation might not be the best word. It's been a little while since I've done statics and dynamics, though, so... How would I explain that to kids? I don't know. I'm not a science communicator. I'm also very bad at talking to the youth. 6, 7... Is yeet still popular? I feel like it couldn't be. People have been saying yeet for like 10 years. I doubt that like true young kids like alphas, is that what we're calling them? Gen alphas? That does sound right. I doubt that alphas actually use the word yeet. You know? At least not non-ironically. I should say ironically. Classic Zubat screech. You know what game I'm sad about not coming out yet? So the guy who made Stardew Valley is making a game about a haunted chocolate shop. And look, He says he needs more time to make it work. I'm 100% with him. If he needs more time, he needs more time. I'm just sad I want to see it come out, man. Stardew Valley was so fantastic. I don't know that it did anything like especially new in the genre. It just did a lot well. It brought a lot of the concepts together. There's a bunch of stuff from like different games of that genre and even games from other genres that it brought together. If you take a look, the artwork evolved, the story evolved. I mean, I remember playing the game and the wizard wasn't even like a very important part of it to begin with. Do I need to be swapping this bat out for... Probably. I absolutely should be, huh? These Zubats are gonna take forever to deal damage to each other. We need Big Bro to show up and absolutely clown on this dude. So maybe the way to do this right now is to heal Pikachu and then use Pikachu as the swap in here. Keep pushing Pikachu up to like 16-ish. While mainline pushing Zubat up. Oh, this was a mistake, actually. I did the wrong guy. Huh. We'll put it to sleep and buy ourselves a second to swap. I needed to switch to Bird. The people who, not necessarily the people who made, but the people who published Stardew Valley, I think are working on, rather than Haunted Chocolatier, they're working on like Witch Academy, which is going to be a Stardew style magical girl slash boy academy, Potter-esque dating simulator, student learning, but again, Stardew Valley kind of graphics and stylization and vibes. I'm very interested to see that as well. I guess maybe the shadow and legacy of Stardew Valley is really everywhere around us in the things that I want to see. Can I talk about Pal World during a Pokemon run? I actually freaking love Pal World. I love it so much. I talk about it all the time. I want the 1.0 release of Pal World to come out soon so that I can play it. It is the evolutionary next stage of Pokemon likes. It has inspired a number of clones of Pokemon and itself. It feels like so fresh. It's hitting all the right notes. It's learned lessons from Arc. And it's so strange because the people who made it, that was like their first game. They changed the engine midway through. They abandoned the story. Everything you hear about this game, and it just feels like Pal World should never have worked and never have been made. Giving firearms into a Pokemon like, and yet it just all comes together lockstep so perfectly. Very fun, very interesting. The pals give you the similar sort of feeling that you get from having Pokemon. I don't know what it is about this genre of games that makes me feel so attached to my partners. Pal World and Pokemon, like, I'll forgive a lot of game mechanics in Pokemon. This is a series that just does not evolve very quickly. Right. I don't want to lock in Zubats fighting Zubats. I need to switch over to Ash. Don't get locked in. I said don't get locked in, audience. Don't get locked in. Now's our moment. It's Zubat hyper leveling time. How is this Zubat doing? Let's take a look. Only a third of the way to level 10. Alright. Well, I should say a third of the way from 9 to 10. But I suppose the way I said it could be interpreted, but exactcy might be important. Exactitude. Alright, now we're bringing Buddy out for a Vine Whip. Good, good. Back to Ash. This grind set is mechanical, friends. We're in, we're locked in, we're making it happen. Now, this Magikarp actually has it's a poison power 54 hidden power. That's actually quite strong. The only other Pokemon that's close to that is Pidgey with Ice 53 and Zubat, Manbat with Ground 54. So maybe we lucked out on this Magikarp. Maybe this Magikarp's actually like kind of strong. I just shifted to the wrong Pokemon, didn't I? Yep. Too locked in. Not paying enough attention to what I'm doing. Grind is getting to me. Too tired. Also, I'm just not playing with my old brain this entire run. Alright. We're getting there. Here we go. Close. Very close. A little bit more would be nice. Alright. Probably 2 more battles to get Zubat up to level 10. Which sadly only brings it to parity with the level 9 to 10 Zubats we've been seeing around here. Fortunate. We need an edge. We need to pull ahead. We need Pikachu. Focus, focus me, focus. Ooh. Do we need to do the ooh magic? Man-Bat level 10. Nice. Love it, love it. Now begins the man-back grind to 12. Just getting it to 10 was only the beginning. Boom. Huh. All right, another ash swap. Stay focused. Focus. Are you focused with me, audience? I think I'll probably put grind only in the title of this particular video, so that people who don't want to watch the grind will know to skip it. So we can just get to like trainer battles and such. Kind of more risky maneuvers. Might be worth stopping to take a heal in order to protect Pikachu. Let's go, Ash. Zoom. We've really just been NASCARing around the area. Head empty. Only Thunder Shock. Wouldn't it be nice if you could use escape rope to move forward rather than only backwards? I mean, yeah, it's broken, but wouldn't it be interesting? The mythical skip dungeon button. I think maybe I need to go back and rewatch that episode of the Intro Hour where Savannah did the presentation on Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. There's some weird stuff in there that, like, you yourself became a Pokemon and there's, like, future detective things going on, and I remember it was, like, pretty dark for a Pokemon story and very strange. What is the nature of self? Kids, don't ask that question. The study of philosophy. Well, maybe not. Maybe it is worth answering. People have been asking questions along that line for a very long time. Ancient Greek philosophers from like 500 BC. We've got some on record. Closer to like 300 to 200. We've got some as well, but yeah, like ancient philosophy in some ways ended up getting fairly well documented. Particularly in Greece. The Greeks had this great run where if you see nowadays, a lot of our prestige languages, like when people want to sound old or occult and mystical or very formal, they use Latin, the language of the ancient Romans. But when the ancient Romans wanted to do that for another language, they would choose Greek. They saw Greeks as their most favored subjects. You know, like that. Romans had a very wide-reaching empire, lots of lands, lots of peoples, and their most favored peoples that weren't themselves were the Greeks. There's a much longer discussion of did the Greeks become the Roman Empire. It's certainly worth having, but probably not until you're in at least high school level of history. I don't know what the kids learn nowadays, though. But, you know, no matter what age you are, there's plenty of time to get involved in history. So you can always pick up a book, pick up an Encyclopedia Britannica, look up anything about the Empire of the Greeks. It'll also be called the Eastern Roman Empire, the Eastern Roman Administrative Area. It will be called the Byzantine Empire, although the people who lived there never called it the Byzantine Empire. That's more of a thing that people afterwards called it. After it no longer existed, people called it that. It's a pretty advanced word, Byzantine, which it kind of means difficult to navigate bureaucracy. How do I even explain bureaucracy down to like high schoolers? Maybe I need to become a better communicator. What if I improved myself slightly? Something to think about. I don't know. It's hard. I don't want to be like, I'm so old, but I can hardly remember what I was learning when I was in high school. And school is so different now. Right? School is very different. And when I went to school, you were not allowed, and again, this is in like the 90s and early 2000s, no phones. Now phones are everywhere. You're expected. There's some high schools do like online learning. You get iPads and stuff to like learn from tablets. It's just so strange to me because when I was in school, those things were considered cheating and absolutely not allowed. Does the nature of the tools you use to learn change what you learn? I think yes, but also, you know, like I went to high school in West Virginia and we were studying stuff, Civil War stuff. You know, when we did the history of the United States, a lot of it was about the Civil War period, which is wild because it's not that long. I did Spanish 1 and 2. Did Spanish 2 several times. I'm not very good at Spanish. I'm so sorry, people of Spain and Mexico and all the various colonies which have been Hispaniolatized. I'm just not that good at it. I can barely communicate in the English language. When you're listening to me barely communicate in the English language, right? The thing about learning to speak a different language is it also... Oh, hey, level 11. Nice. Yeah, supersonic. Actually, supersonic's not really that great, right? It is always good to learn new moves, especially when you aren't full on move usage. Oh, here we go. Man-Bat is back. Yeah, it just says confusion. There's certainly a place for that, but probably not super useful for me right now. There's a big storm outside. I am gonna save just to prevent myself from suffering consequences. Learning a new language often means learning to think in a different way. And while I've certainly learned a little bit about the structures of various languages, I've never fully completed one. And I feel like I have a slightly odd way of thinking, but I'm sure that from someone outside my point of view thinking, I probably seem like I think a lot like other people like me. because that seems pretty common for people to incorrectly estimate their own level of competence. To some extent, that's very Dunning-Kruger. Wow. Again, how would I explain Dunning-Kruger to someone that doesn't know it? Maybe I should unironically learn to become a better science communicator. It seems to come up so often in my life. When I did engineering, that was literally the thing I did while I was an engineer. Was engineer... Oh, I'm laughing. So engineers have this issue that they usually put the least experienced person on a team. The most junior person on a team is in charge of explaining what the rest of the team is doing to like management and like corporate supervisor, that sort of deal. Like the people who don't know what you're doing engineering wise, you need someone to communicate them with what you're doing in terms they'll understand. Star Trek does this pretty well. Like a lot of Star Trek episodes, especially in the Next Generation, they'll end by saying and they also did it in the original series. Voyager does it to some extent. I don't think Deep Space Nine does it that often. For me, those are the big four. Of course, now we've got Enterprise, Lower Decks, Prodigy, Picard. But let's talk about kind of the older series, the ones that I've watched and know better. They'll end the episodes like most the Next Generation episodes are kind of divided into like between 3 and 5 parts, and in the finale there's like the solution is analogy that you can easily understand despite all of the science mumbo jumbo we've said, and that making that analogy for people is the engineering version of science communicating, and it is very important. People who are responsible for managing you do need to understand what you're doing, and you need to be able to explain to them what you're doing and why it's important and why they should be paying for it and allowing you to do it. Ooh, that last part is probably gonna get me in trouble with some engineers, the way I stated that. In my defense, I'm kind of tired right now. Not entirely on top of it. Still. Communication, science communication is very important. I'll say Neil deGrasse Tyson, I think, does this well in the Hayden Planetarium. I've caught several of his virtual tours of the Hayden Planetarium. Hank Green does this exceptionally well from... What is his vlog with his brother called? But also just in general, Hank Green does an excellent job communicating science. Who else do I know that's good science communicators? Carl Sagan is probably the grandfather of this. Schrodinger is the anti this. I'm sure no matter how old you are, you've heard of Schrodinger's cat, but Schrodinger made that as like an insult. He made it mockingly to like talk down to people. And it has become the standard way of understanding a certain subset of... I mean, a lot of people say you needed to understand quantum physics, and to some extent that's true, but it's really a description of superposition. Collapsing waveform superposition. But how do I explain this? I don't really know. So the cat is alive and dead, but because it hasn't been observed, it doesn't matter, right? Like functionally, until observed, it doesn't matter. And see, this might be the problem with the situation, is that, well, Schrodinger meant it kind of mean, And like, oh, it's double team. Double team is good, right? But should I get it on Pikachu? Pokemon. FireRed. Nuzlocke. I think the answer is almost certainly going to be yes. It might even be worth dropping Growl. Something about Light Ball. Evasion moves aren't worth it. I mean, I feel like when I see bad guys use double team, it's very annoying. Let's see here. Their bulk may lose. They're built to outspeed and one-hit KO. Their attack is very high. Great. Move set. Growl is useful on some occasions. Tail Whip is useless. I believe that's the one I dropped. Thunder Wave is great. Has a status spreader. Good. Excellent. Quick Attack at 11 is an okay move, but it won't be doing much to grass or electric types that resist Thunder Shock, so it's a little situational. Double Team can be gotten at 15. You can use it if you want. Don't get Slam because of its bad accuracy. 26 is Thunderbolt. Okay. Maybe we don't get it then. Alright. Stop learning double team. I've been schooled by expert FireRed Nuzlockers. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't risk it. I mean, I don't typically use status stuff, but now that I can't just revive Pokemons on command, I can't just like throw Pokemons at walls, I'm starting to appreciate how difficult some of these fights really are, where someone will use something like Dragon Dance. Heard a lot of people talk about this champion Cynthia. I don't think I ever played the game with Cynthia in it, and they say that she crushed their childhood. And that just hasn't been my experience, because I've never faced her, but I understand she has a Dragon Dance Pokemon that just absolutely obliterates people. I want to say its name is Altaria. Is that right? No. I might be thinking of the Jaden Animations run. It's the Dragon Shark thing. Irachomp? Irachomp? I don't even know how I'd get to be a better science communicator. You know, I feel like just listening to people explain science to me hasn't made me better at one. I need to get educated on it specifically. Maybe Toastmasters? I've found them to be useful in the past, but I don't know that they do specific science communication stuff. Is this gonna level the Zubat? It's gonna be close. The Zubat looks like it's at like 95+%. There it is, level 12. Objective complete. Let's go heal, and then bully our way. We want to call it here. Call this an episode. Call it the grind. And then next episode will be the trip to Celadon City, capstoning with taking out Misty. Maybe that's better? Question mark? It's certainly good. I don't know that it's better. What do we want to have out in front? All the fights that are in here. Let's start with that thought. Let's concentrate on the living force here and now. Oddish, Bellsprout, Caterpie, Magnetite, Voltorb. It's kind of seeming like leading with Buddy is probably... And I may want to just avoid fighting this super nerd Joven completely, because Voltorb doing an explode could be really bad. I don't see... These maps that people share in this guide don't show where the trainers are. So I don't know how to know to avoid them. Alright, well, avoid the super nerd because we don't want to fight that Voltorb, but we do need to skim cash off of a lot of the rest of these. So... Rattata, Oddish, Bellsprout. I feel like leading with your boy Buddy, not a bad plan. Maybe we will level the Mankey, just so that we've got in the background. We don't want to leave it lagging behind. I'll throw away the rest of this episode to getting Mankey to 12. How about that? We probably don't want to push Ivysaur too much higher, especially if we expect to use Ivysaur in these trainer fights, because we don't want to push it past 21 too much. I'm not bound to those rules. I haven't set that up, but I understand why they're there. So we'll play it loose. We'll play it loose, but it seems like a good idea to not go too much past. Because like significant level differences become maybe not logarithmic, but exponentially compounding level of strong. Did I? Yeah, I did. Making sure that's the one that's out in front. I really am quite tired right now. I don't know how obvious it is. Oh, low kick. Very nice. Alright, we'll finish with another low kick. And that'll mean this man, Mankey Man, will get full XP rather than having to share it with somebody. A good boost. Pidgey. Hit him with the gust. Yeah, I was just reading an article today that my mom sent me that, like, men my age, a huge number of them are satisfied with their lives and don't, like, self-improve and, like, get new certifications and stuff. I feel that. I've tried to live my life, I don't want to say being unambitious, but I think that a lot of men from previous generations kind of pushed themselves very hard and got, like, very stressed about it. I think there's also, just from watching the way people play, like, 4X or Grand Strategy video games, there's, like, a driving need for control in general from some people, like very ambitious people, that becomes counterintuitive at some point. Like, you get to an issue where you're like, you already have all this power and control and wealth, resources. Like, you already have everything you need to be successful. Why do you keep, like, you're just taking stuff away from other people at this point. I don't want to get to that. you know? Like, I feel like this is some deep this is like a really deep talk for a Pokemon Nuzlocke Let's Play, but what if you're just satisfied with your life? What if you just are? To some extent, I don't feel like my life is perfect, but I feel like I put a lot of effort for a long time into my stream, which is my hobby and a big part of my life, and then it was just never successful in the way that I wanted it to be, and now I'm just kind of put a little less effort maybe into it, and like into life, and just kind of, what if you just coasted? What if you just didn't cause problems for people? What if you were satisfied? And it's so weird reading other people be like, you shouldn't be satisfied, and I'm like, why though? Why shouldn't I be satisfied with just being all right? So strange. This is my lesson to you, Pokemon fans. No matter how old you are, no matter where you are in the world or what you do, some people will never be satisfied with you. They will always have something to tell you about how to make yourself better. And it is up to you to make a determination as to how important it is what other people tell you. You need to judge for yourself, and it can be very difficult. In fact, it could be the work of a lifetime to make those calls. Hopefully, no matter what age you are, you've had good guidance along the way. And that good guidance will almost certainly come from your parents, which is why when they ask you to go get them Domino's pizza, even though you just finished getting dinner for yourself, and we're completely tucked in to do a double stream for the evening, you will take all of your plans, set them aside, and go get them the pizza, and then come back and eat the dinner you yourself prepared, but also get the ribs, chicken wings from the Domino's pizza that you got for yourself. Stop sending me the Zubats. Bring me the Geodudes. I can kick the Geodudes. Astonish is making me understand more and more easily how pivot swapping works. This feels like a classic example of Astonish working on Mankey, but not working on being completely ineffective on Pidgey. Alright, Mankey, hit him with the low kick. Absolutely destroy him. Nice. Nice work, my guy. Alright, now Mankey. Finish him off with a low kick. Dang, I feel like I was in the middle of talking about some really profound stuff, and now I've been sidetracked with too much thinking. Classic problem. If only the Greek philosophers had a word for this and a solution to it. The discovery of buoyance principles in a bathtub, sorting down to the word eureka, is so interesting to me. What a great story. Probably exaggerated, but it doesn't matter because it communicates the entire story perfectly in a way that makes buoyance easy to understand. That's ancient science communication, which has survived over 2,000 years into the future. Future of now. What's that here? It's Zubat, right? Great. Taking him down. Okay. I also don't remember. There's the badges allow you to control Pokemon up to a certain level, right? I never remember what those levels are. I feel like it explains it in game in like classrooms. But the first badge gives me maybe up to level 20 or 30. I'm just curious because I have a traded Pokemon. It's the Magikarp I want to turn into Gyarados. So sticking to that badge limit is going to be more important than normal. Alright, the Manky's probably a fight or two away from leveling. A Geodude will solidly put us there. Alright, I think this will be it. Mankey, hit him with the low kick. Hey, Mankey! Nice job, man. Alright, Mankey. Hit him with the low kick one more time. Forget about it, Geodude. Karate Chop. Excellent. So I believe Karate Chop's the one that's more useful against like general opponents rather than just heavy ones. Yeah, it's strong against everybody. High critical hit ratio, good power, covered all around sort of deal. Oh, sorry, cover means something different in like Nuzlocke. We absolutely do not have good coverage with Mankey, but I feel like that Karate Chop's gonna absolutely obliterate normal types. How many of those do we have in the upcoming? Because we might lead with Mankey if that's the case. Weedle is not a normal type. Kakuna is also not. Clefairy, we've already beaten. Magnetite, not normal. Voltorb is probably not normal. Yeah, it's electric, of course. Caterpie, Metapod, Caterpie. Oddish is going to be grass. Oh, it's grass poison, sorry. Bellsprout is also grass poison. So, Rattata, Zubat. That's youngster Josh. And then Geodude, Onyx from Hiker Marcos. So we can unleash Mankey on those two trainers. Youngster Josh, when the Zubat comes out, we want to swap to something not Mankey. But the Mankey can probably take out all those guys. Easy clap. That's why we've been leveling them. So just give us some breathing room. Let us take out some of these easier normal types. We're almost at the end of the line here. We're almost at the bridge to level 12. We're about 10% of the way into level 12 on Mankey. Well, I'm just kind of curious. He probably won't die in one hit. Mankey won't die in one hit. Yeah, okay, so yeah, it's just not good here. Let's swap. Hit him with the gust. Nice moves. Pidgey. Alright. Show me the power of Karate Chop. Perfect. The critical hit probably helped a little bit, though. Still, hard to say that that was a bad call. Bap, bap, bap. We're doing it again. Struggling to keep my eyes open. That grindset mindset is real right now. Absolutely cringe dialogue coming from me, by the way. Too high-level brain stuff. Not enough no-think. Certainly not enough comedy or game commentary, for sure. A lot of the times I publish videos like this and then I'm like, I'm really worried about some of the stuff I said being taken wrong, but it almost never is. So I don't know why I get so worked up about it. But also no one ever watches them, right? Like stuff that's in the Dragon Age Inquisition series or like here, it's not going to be that many people watching this Nuzlocke, so it's all going to be like really Pokemon dedicated AP Gaming real fans, probably less than 30 people, so hopefully you guys understand what I'm getting at. Hopefully I'm communicating my lack of communication well. I mean, my hope is that with the number of parents that we've got that also like Pokemon, that they can watch this with their kids. Because I think kids like Pokemon and they like Nuzlocks, but I don't know, you know? I don't know enough kids to like make that determination, but that's my hope. That's my... Because a lot of the series that I make, I wouldn't say that they... Whoa! Is it what? Hold on. Is that even on the encounter table for here? Green, round 3. I mean, it has to be, right? There's... It's actually not. It's not on the... Oh, no. Hold on, it is. It's a 1% chance. I was looking at Basement Area 1. It is a 1% chance to get a Clefairy. Alright. So, hold on. It's a normal type right now, theoretically. So let's Karate Chop it. Yep. Perfect. That's what we were looking for. Ah, excellent. The other thing to be a little slightly concerned about is having Pokemon that are too strong right now, so that when I go to catch a Pokemon in a new area, anything we have a one-shot it. But I think we get around that with the Ivysaur, right? Because the Ivysaur is going to probably throw out either Sleep or Poison. If I'm going to try to catch something, it's probably going to be Sleep, right? Poison would be counterintuitive. And then maybe like Leech Seed to just slowly pull health away over and over again. You know, it gives us... I mean, I would hate for something that I'm trying to catch to die to Leech Seed. That would be horrible. But it gives us a pretty steady declination of opponent hit points while also refilling ours so that we aren't in danger of dying. Alright, let's reset our Pokemon. The first trainer up is going to be Bug Catcher Kent with a Weedle and a Kakuna. So we're going to want to lead with our bird boy. Bird. Just one more time, just to make sure that everybody's healed up. Just in case. Then we're going to save the game. Audience, thanks for coming along with me. It's pretty late tonight. I mean, it's not really that late, but I am tired. So let's say it's pretty late, just to cope. And I hope you had a good time. I'll see you for the next one, where the grinding is over and the trainer battle royale begins.